What is up, everybody? My name is Hyken, and this is the Epomaker GK68X. Really quickly before we get started here, just a quick reminder to hit that like button and that sub button at any point during the video. If you find that you are enjoying it, that would really help me out. Also, I stream here on my YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at about noon West Coast time. I unbox products and I answer questions, so if you have any questions about this keyboard or any of the other ones that I've reviewed on this channel, that is a great place to ask them, or just drop by to hang out. So just a little bit of background info on this keyboard to start us off here. This was first started as a Kickstarter project by Epomaker, which has since ended, but you can pre-order the keyboard with several different flavors. I'll get into those in a bit, and they will be released later this month, it looks like, on the website, so you won't have to wait too long at all. One of the unique features of this keyboard is the spacebar module feature. You can swap in a different spacebar module, which then breaks your one spacebar down into 3, which you can then use as, well, spacebars, or you can use them as additional function keys to access other layers of functions. In the box, you get the keyboard, a detachable USB Type-C cable, a keycap puller / key switch puller combo, a few extra switches, the alternate spacebar add-on, the keycaps for the spacebar add-on, some Mac-specific keycaps, and a manual. As far as pricing goes, the price can range anywhere between $95 and $189 depending on what model you get and what switches you get. I got the cheapest one since I paid for this with my own money, which means that I got a plastic case, Gateron switches, and no Bluetooth. If you want a plastic case with Bluetooth, it'll cost you $10 extra, bumping the price up to $105. No Bluetooth and a gray or purple aluminum case will cost you $169, and it'll be $179 for Bluetooth and a gray or purple aluminum case. With the plastic case, you have 3 color options for the keycaps. You have black and gray like I have, a white and gray, and a pink and white. With the gray aluminum case, you can't get the pink and white set, and with the purple aluminum case, you can just get the white and gray. For the switch options, you have your choice of Gateron black, blue, brown, and red. You can also pick from cherry blue, brown, and red, but cherry switches raise the price $14 about, so be aware of that. I got Gateron blues in my keyboard. This keyboard is also 5-pin hot swappable, which means that you can put pretty much any switch you want in here, even things like Kalebox Jades. Okay, now that all that general info is out of the way, I can finally start the review. So first off, what does this keyboard specifically offer that others don't? So here we have dedicated arrow keys, we have delete, page up, page down, and the tilde key, all added from the 60% keyboard layout. This keyboard is one set of keys longer than a standard 60% keyboard, but that's really not going to make too much of a difference in terms of desk space. I don't know if page up and page down would have really been my first choices to add to this keyboard, but I know that delete is a very welcome addition. Tilde is kind of a weird choice. It's also sort of weird placement. I'm used to the backspace key being right next to the plus equals key. However, the tilde key takes that place and moves the backspace key over one more unit, which means that your pinky and your muscle memory is going to have to get used to the backspace key being moved over one more key. I don't think that's a huge deal breaker for anybody, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. Another selling point of this keyboard would be that alternate spacebar that I mentioned earlier. I know that I personally won't get much use out of it, in fact I rarely used it during testing, but I know that there's some people who really might appreciate having access to another layer of functions, especially within games and other applications like DaVinci Resolve for editing and stuff like that. Might be really nice to have some additional hotkeys. As far as these keycaps go, I'm a pretty big fan. They're dye sublimated PBT, so you know that the printing on these is never going to fade, and they have a really nice texture to them as well. My only complaint is that the lettering can be kind of hard to see on this dark gray and even darker gray keycap set. I know that the black printing on the really dark gray just doesn't show up very well in low light situations, so if you don't have like every single key on the keyboard memorized, this may not be the color for you to go with, but I've used the light gray and white color before that's on my SK61 and they're awesome. I also don't mind the fact that these aren't shine through. I'm really not too big into RGB anyways, so this never really bothered me. I think that without it, it gives the keycaps a really nice professional look, so this might be a great keyboard for an office space. If you don't like these keycaps, don't worry, you can still swap them out. You'll just need to make sure that that keycap set has a single unit right alt, single unit function, single unit menu, and a shorter 1.75 unit right shift key. Also, speaking of the RGB lighting, I think it looks great on this keyboard. It's a really solid addition. The white backplate gives you a lot of shine back, a lot of reflection from the lights, and they just look good. For the switches, I got Gateron Blues. I love blue switches, I love clicky switches, and I think that these are definitely way better than Otemu switches, and I think these are even better than Cherry MX Blues, these Gateron Blues. These are a really great blue switch. Something about the click and the typing feeling just feels better with these than the Cherry MX Blues. I'll go ahead and give you a sound test for them right now. These are overall pretty nice, right? The spacebar does stick out quite a bit, the stabilizers do in general. I definitely think that this keyboard would benefit from a band-aid mod, a clipping mod, maybe even some different lube on stabilizers, so if you want to do that, this would be a good keyboard to do that on. But yeah, I mean, out of the box, they're pretty decent. For the software, it's the same as the SK61, same as the GK61, they all have the same manufacturer, so this makes sense. But yeah, it's still not a great software. A lot of it is in Chinese, even after I've changed the language to Chinese and then back to English, which fixed some of the Chinese, but not all of it. So, yeah, it's really not great. Functionality-wise, it's fine. I mean, it works. But yeah, I mean, the fact that it's not all in English kind of sucks. You can still do macros, change lighting effects, all that good stuff, but yeah, you may struggle a little bit with the language barrier. Overall, this is a pretty solid keyboard. I think it has a lot of really good things going for it. There's some solid keycaps out of the box. 5-pin hot swappable means that you have great customizability options, and the spacebar module is pretty cool for the right person. I'm also a pretty big fan of this form factor. I know I said earlier that the page up and page down didn't make a lot of sense, but the fact that you get the extra keys for just one extra unit on the end of the keyboard is definitely a really nice trade-off in my opinion. However, I do think that the price is a little bit high. For the fully upgraded with Cherry MX switches and all that, it's nearly $200. Which I think if you're going to be charging almost $200 for a keyboard, you need software that's going to be a very, very good user experience, especially something with this 3-module spacebar, right? You're going to be using the software, you're going to be setting macros, maybe not all the time, you'll still be able to do that in the specific software that you're using, your editing program, your game, and whatnot, but you are going to want to set some macros within the software, and the fact that the software is so weak is kind of a disappointment here. All that being said, if you do decide to pre-order this keyboard, or I guess if you're watching this later, order this keyboard, I will leave a link to it down in the description below. It'll take you directly to Epomaker's website. Alright everybody, that's going to go ahead and do it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to hit that like button and that sub button on your way out, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace! Winnable, 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 winnable. Yes! Yeah, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Yes!